Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. So today I have the book review of Neuromancer by William Gibson. This book was published in 1984. William Gibson is an American/Canadian author. This book won the Nebula, the Hugo, and the Philip K. Dick Award. This is supposedly the book that laid the groundwork for cyberpunk, which is kind of a subgenre of sci-fi. Most of the time I talk about, what I liked, what I disliked, give you a little bit of the, summary of the book and give you my rating and overall thoughts and, any other tidbits I thought that were interesting that I want to share and pass on. I'm just going to kind of do this one kind of off the cuff. I didn't like this book. I really wanted to like it, but I just didn't. So I'm going to start with there. Not to rant, but so let me start with what I did like. I liked Case, the main protagonist. I liked his character and how Gibson designed, him in this novel. I thought, he's definitely, he's in this dystopian future world in Japan, Shiba City, and I really like that as well in terms of the setting. Case is definitely, down on his luck, ex-hacker or hacker, and owes some people money, and then does some shady stuff and hangs around shady people, and obviously has a little bit of a stimulant issue in terms of uppers, and his life morals are questionable. So he's I find myself gravitating towards him as a character, and I did so at the book, and that's really what I liked. I liked the setting. I liked Case. Everything else I really I didn't like. And the reason I think I didn't like it is this book is heavily written. Obviously, it's about future things, even though it was written in 1984, but it's very vague. A lot of the times you're meeting a new character and whatnot, and you don't know if this is part of reality or this was in the artificial intelligence world. Is this kind of like in the Matrix? And they keep mentioning the Matrix. Like, is this real? Is this not? And there's he can have a conversation and he's having relationships with, I don't even know if this person's real. And so I really struggled with kind of solidifying in my own mind as this was all unraveling, what the premise really was. Obviously, I think it's a little introspective, but at the same time, like, Case is given, he has a bad pancreas. This one guy that wants him to do something for him because he may owe him a favor type thing. He puts in these time dissolving vassals in his body that have toxins, and he has to do this before this all runs out. And then it's very weird. It was hard to understand it all, and I really struggled with that, and that really degraded on my enjoyment of the book. So, there's not really much for me to kind of itemize down a list of dislikes or likes, because really it was Case and it was the setting, and I really enjoyed it. I think everything else was just, I really didn't enjoy it. I'm really kind of shocked that this is won 3 major awards in kind of the sci-fi realm in terms of writing. And I guess maybe it was one of those ones that's so vague and so kind of out there that it leaves a lot to, you have to kind of unpack it yourself and decide, and maybe down the road if I reread it, maybe it'll make a little more sense than last time. I'm glad. There's another like. I do like the fact that I went into and read another sci-fi book, and I like the fact that I read something I haven't read before by an author I haven't read before, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I give this book a 1.5 out of 5. I rate that the same. I went back through my kind of laundry list from this year and looked at, what I had rated some other books that I didn't like, and Sleeping Beauty was one on there. And so, yeah, I dislike this book about as much as Sleeping Beauties by Owen and Stephen King. So I give it a 1.5 out of 5. I really wish I had more to give you. I mean, if you've read this book and you've enjoyed it, maybe drop me some comments, say, hey, this is overall, here was my thoughts about the book, or why you enjoyed it. Maybe it'll spark something in my mind about this, but I really struggle with this one. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. William Gibson, Neuromancer, 1.5 out of 5. I don't recommend the book, but I'm glad I read it. That's a review. Have a good evening. Thanks.